Hello, everybody, and we are back with the podcast, and it is officially basketball season, and we're super excited to bring this podcast back. It's the usual, Pierce and Cash, and we are adding a new person to this podcast, Jackson Hand. Y'all know him well if you watch basketball. So we're going to start off with the scores from last week. Both boys and girls went to McDonald County, and we're going to start with the girls' game. The girls taking a tough 46-point loss, 72-26, and this was just old-fashioned. They got punched in the mouth right out of the gate, and McDonald County just took it to them.
Yeah, I agree. I really think that there's nothing else to it. It's just a tough loss. Find some way to bounce back from it and, find momentum and carry on a different way.
I talked to Coach Pittman. They said McDonald County had a lot of height. They were very physical, and Coach Pittman was telling me that they'd probably win conference in Gravette's conference right now. So that was a good team. It was a good learning experience, so hopefully they bounce back.
Everything I saw, our girls just got out physical. I mean, that was really just the biggest problem. But other than that, I mean, we didn't play bad. We just couldn't really compete with their
I agree.
physicality.
Yeah, I think we let that size factor overwhelm us a little bit because it seemed like everybody kind of played panicked instead of calm and composed. So I think that that's something to, take away too is like keep it cool.
The boys came out with a win. They won 78-66, and it was a well-fought game, but Gravette just overall showed to be the better team in that one.
Jackson Hand, ladies and gentlemen, 37 points.
He's right there. Good job.
37 points, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I agree. I think obviously when you have somebody shooting the ball well, like Jackson, again, 37 points, on top of the fact that we out-rebounded them, Pierce being very physical on the board when Kais went down with an ankle injury. On top of that, I think we ran plays well. That was probably from looking in, probably the best game play-wise, running plays-wise. In my opinion, that's the best executed game we've had yet. And I would say that there's not many negatives. I think at the start, we didn't fully follow that scouting report that Bush gave y'all, but I think by the middle of the second quarter, we were locked in, and we had it all the way from that point.
Like you said, we had guys step up. Like Keegan McGee was out, one of our starters. He was out on a vacation for Thanksgiving. Holden Jeffrey stepped up, took that starting spot, and played really well with it.
He did.
So.
He did.
He had a few big threes. That was definitely, I agree, that was our best game in terms of execution. Honestly, I think we followed the scouting report pretty well. We took away their shooters, didn't give them too many good looks. And number 10, I mean, he made a lot of tough shots, but
He was a good basketball player.
He was.
We defended pretty well. He made a lot of tough shots, but if we're getting good looks and they're having to take tough shots and they're having to make them, I mean, that's...
Yeah. At that point, there's not much you can do about that. If they make them, they make them.
I think it was a really good win. Coach Bush would say they definitely finished at the top 4 in our conference, and our conference is pretty good. So I think it was a good win and a good turning point. We kind of struggled at the start, playing as a team, but I feel like we played really well as a team that game, and hopefully we keep going.
I agree.
And hopefully the boys can carry on their momentum, as tonight both them and the girls will travel to Jay, Oklahoma. We'll give you guys an insight on this game next week because this is going to come out tomorrow as when we are filming this. And, Gravette and Jay, at least the boys, have met in the summer, but I feel like a team can easily change a lot from summer into the season. Jay beat us, I believe, in the summer. But I do think that we have gotten a lot better than we have back in the summer, and I think we got a good shot to win tonight, both boys and girls.
Like you said, Jay beat us in the summer, but we weren't as a team yet. I'm pretty sure we had 3 out of...
Yeah, we had 3 starters
starters out.
He was out, Kais was out, and...
I believe it was JD.
Yeah, JD. Yeah.
Because I remember it was Holden Jeffries, me, Brendan, a couple other guys in the starting lineup. We played well. We didn't play as well, but we played hard. They're a physical team, so we're going to have to be physical tonight, but should come out with a win.
I agree. I think that obviously having those guys that are physical on boards and then can shoot the ball well and, playmakers and all that, I think that really, against a team like this, coming to play like that, watching film, the little bit of film I have sat in on, they don't look great. They look more physical than they do, good at basketball. The biggest takeaway I have is just don't let them get a rebound. If they get a rebound, they're going to sit there and they're just going to run circles around you. They may not make plays, but they're going to get a rebound if we don't actually, out physical them in a game. So I think as long as our posts are physical, I think if you have another good rebound game, I think if Kais has a good rebound game, I think that we'll be just fine.
Yeah. I mean, I think that summer game, I think there's not too much to take away from that, too much to worry about because we're not necessarily a young team, but we're a new team.
Yeah.
Graduated a lot of people that got playing time last year, a lot of the starters, and obviously Gunner, the leading scorer. But, Jackson was out with the ACL last year.
Mm-hmm.
I just transferred in, and we had a lot of guys that weren't necessarily getting a lot of minutes. So I think it's just taking some time for us to come together and learn how to play with each other and just figure things out. But I think that we're figuring it out together, and, it's all coming together really well so far.
I agree.
So.
The girls tonight.
I think for the girls, they can't sit on that loss and keep mourning about that. You got to move on to the next game. It's
agree.
basketball. You're going to have bad nights.
I agree.
But I think tonight, in order for us to win, we need to get the ball in our playmakers' hands, and they need to have a great night on the boards and shooting.
I think that they need to play with their hot hands, like you said. Coach Pittman was telling me that they don't have a lot to go off of. Both girls and boys just have film of a scrimmage that they played at the start of the year, but it's their first game, so we don't have a lot to go off of, boys or girls. That we just need to play our basketball.
Like y'all were saying with the hot hands, I think we need to get the ball in, in my opinion, the people that stand out is I think we need to get the ball in Mira Russell's hands. I think that she's been shooting the light out of the ball. I think the only not even a bad game, I think the only game that I've seen her miss a good amount of shots was McDonald County. And I don't even really think that was a bad game for her. I think that we need to get the ball in Mira's hands. I think Kinley can be good in the post. I think for her size and the teams they've played against, I think she's a very good basketball player when it comes to playing in the post for the girls. I think we should get the ball in Mira's hands, let her shoot the ball. I think if we can, which I think, I don't know how Jay looks. I'm assuming we can because of her height. I think we should get the ball to Kinley in the post. And overall, I don't think that there's much stopping that.
I think that the girls, they win getting to the free throw line.
Yeah.
Against Lincoln, I remember watching that whole first half, and they really got to the free throw line well, which kept them in the game. And later on that game, Kinley Harris was the game winner. When they get to the free throw line, they win their games. So I feel like if they get to the free throw line, it should be a good night for the girls.
I agree.
And one more thing to add on that. Don't turn the ball over. From the games I've watched, we have
boys and girls.
We have had so many turnovers.
Yeah.
Turnovers will lose you games. Luckily the girls have got away with it a couple times, but you're eventually going to run into a good team. If you turn the ball over that much, you're going to get.
And
drilled.
that's what happened with the boys against Ozark Catholic.
Yeah, Ozark Catholic.
Turned the ball over a lot and lost the game by a lot.
I will say against McDonald County, looking at stats and stuff like that, I counted boards, Dayton counted rebounds. Dayton counted turnovers. We had 16 against McDonald County. And I think that game could have been a lot, It was kind of a blow. What did we win? 15 points? Something like that?
Yeah, 12, 15.
About like that. I think it could have been 20, maybe even 30 had we not, turned the ball over so much. But again, I think that comes back to what you said about just clicking as a team. And I personally think that McDonald County game, for how good we ran plays and eventually played as a team, I'm hoping that is going to be that little click.
Yeah.
And I think that will be it.
And back to the girls, they haven't really clicked yet either with literally all their players last year that
I agree.
touched the court were seniors.
Graduated 10 seniors or something?
Yeah, it was their whole varsity team.
I'm pretty sure the only players that touched the floor on varsity last year were seniors.
They were.
Yeah, because Kinley Harris was out, and she played a little bit her sophomore year, but she was out.
Speaking of Kinley, I think she's the X factor for the girls for sure because she's a monster on the boards. I think she's leading them in rebounding, and I think she had 15 rebounds the other night. And she rebounds on the offensive side really well. Obviously, in the Lincoln game, offensive rebound.
Yeah.
Put back for the win. I think she had 15 rebounds the other night.
I think it was against Decatur,
Against Decatur. I mean, she's definitely the X factor, just giving them second chances and ending possessions on the defense.
I agree.
I agree. Yeah.
Then we got one more topic. On Friday, you guys and the girls will head to West Fork.
Yes.
Boys looking for revenge after what happened last year.
Lost by 1 point last year.
Yeah. So what are just some keys that both teams can carry into that going into West Fork, which are both winnable games for both teams?
Got to win the rebounding battle. Last year, we didn't rebound the ball well against them. Lost that game with seconds left. We got to win the rebounding battle.
I think personally the turnovers and playing as a team. Like I said, I think this team has finally clicked for at least boys. I think I agree with what Pierce said. I think the girls still need to find that one game. But I think the boys have clicked, and I think that if they try to play individually, and I think if they start looking at those stats and like, dang, I only got 4 points. I think if they worry about their stats and not the team, I think that's gonna break them down. And I think if we have like a 16 turnover game, I think that's what's gonna make this a close game again, like we did against McDonald County. Obviously, it wasn't a close game, but it can happen depending on the team we play. So I think as long as we keep the turnovers in check, play as a team, I think we'll be fine.
We played them in the summer, and I think I was the only starter there. We were missing a lot of pieces.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't remember playing them.
But
So.
we lost. You know, there's not too much to take away from that game, but they've got 2 really good scorers. The rest of the team is solid, but we've got to take away those 2 guys. I mean, they're going to be taking the majority of the shots and carrying most of the load for their offense. And we just did not execute very well. And we were kind of new as a team again, but we have to execute well. And I think if we execute well and don't turn the ball over, win the rebounding battle, we should be able to win.
Yeah, I agree. And for the girls, you know, West Fork hasn't been a great team in the past. They've struggled a lot. So I think if the girls just play their brand of basketball, they'll be just fine.
I think
and same with the boys.
I
too.
think this is a game at West Fork. You know, Coach Melton used to coach at Gravette. I think this is a game where the girls will click, and I think they'll start figuring it out very soon.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be very long. I think it'll definitely be before Christmas break that they'll figure it out.
I agree. Well, we thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Gravette Sports Podcast. Hopefully, we could get some wrestling updates soon once they get into full swing. But until then, we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.